So here we have this horizontal force or right-left force as shown in the swing catalyst software right here. And generally what we see is a positive spike in the graph somewhere around the top of the backswing and a negative spike somewhere around impact. And you can see this positive spike is telling us that the golfer is pushing down and away from the target and creating momentum pushing up and towards the target. So these blue vectors are actually the ground reaction force that's going to cause this golfer to be moving towards the target as both these vectors are tightly tilted towards the target. Every golfer we've ever tested has some of this horizontal or positive horizontal force, or that force creating that momentum towards the target. And we can't keep this momentum going the whole time, or else we would do a Gary Player walkthrough drill and actually walk towards the target. And so we always see that somewhere around impact, we have to have this negative braking force. And the negative braking force is when the golfer is doing the opposite. They're actually pushing down and towards the target and creating these reaction forces that are pushing away from the target. And the job of these vectors is to slow down the horizontal momentum of the body and transfer that energy into the club. So this is really a deceleration or a braking force that the golfer puts into the ground, and it's super important to creating club head speed. So here's an example of a really good player who struggled with putting on that braking force and posting up through that lead side. This is Bryan Gay. And you can see Bryan Gay for a PGA Tour player was one of the slowest speeds out there at 105 miles per hour. And I believe this initial swing here on the left was measured around 2014. You can see he was really good at putting on the horizontal force. He got 24% of his body weight, or at the top of the tour average of that horizontal force. What he did struggle with, even though he was putting in a lot of force, couldn't break that force. So you can see as that braking force turns around, he's only getting 9% of his body weight in braking force. So he's putting in a lot more energy than he's able to break. And I think that equates to a much slower club head speed. He's worked on this quite a bit. And I know his coach, Joe Mayo, and his physical trainer, Ben Shear, have worked on getting him to post up through that lead side much better. And you can see here, this is a swing that was taken just recently. And you can see his club head speed is now much higher. His club head speed is now 112 miles per hour, and he's actually been a lot higher than that. And you can see he's actually brought down the amount of horizontal force he puts into the system with only 12% of horizontal force in the peak there. And so, but what he does get a lot better at is putting on the brakes. So you can see as he comes down into impact, right before impact, he's now putting 18% of his body weight, or almost double the braking force that he put on previously. And this is what's allowing him to post up through that lead side and create a lot more club head speed. This is something you can work on. And if you follow the Swing Catalyst education and the Golf Lab education, we can talk about reactive neuromuscular training and how this can be trained in golfers to really teach them to put on the brakes and create a lot more speed.